making a short bale. My harrow bed guy kind of clued me into it. I think I've narrowed it down to this one, I think. So the new case balers, they have an electronic trip, so you can set bale length from the screen in the cab, which is really cool for fine tuning. This one's actually unplugged though, because we had problems with it, I think last year. Something got screwed up and it was actually making the needles constantly trip, so they were just like coming up and tying knots like crazy. So the motor's unplugged, but I'll show you when I get up there. It looks like maybe it's still spinning, but the metering arm also has a little wear in it. But usually when the metering arm gets wear, the arm will not, you know, roll right or like it's supposed to, and you'll make long bales. But I have a metering arm and a gear with me. I'm trying to figure out what tools I need. I'm just gonna change it and let them run tonight, and we'll see what happens. Maybe that's what it is. So we're gonna check it out. All right, so all balers utilize a metering arm to set bale length. So you set your length right here, and this thing has the haze going out of the chamber, the bale's going out, it goes up, 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 and it hits a spot down here and it pops forward, trips the needles tie, this goes back down and the process starts all over. But these cases, they have this electronic trip motor. So what you do when you're using that, you just set your metering arm on the 10-foot bale mark, and you leave it and you do everything from the cab. But like I said, we had problems with this last year, and the motor's literally unplugged. But see the movement or the shiny spot on the bearing? That tells me that this thing's still moving. See, this is what would trip when you get to the bale length you wanted. There's a sensor somewhere that's reading the bale, and this thing would spin and it'd get around to this. It'd go on this cam right here. This bearing would get here, and it would let the needles trip. But it's still moving, so I don't know. I don't think I can unbolt that and leave it off, but I'm gonna mark it with a marker. But I'm gonna change this metering arm out, because there is a little spot right there, and then the gear in there doesn't look the best. But like I said, usually when that's wore out, you'll get a, oh man, I left tools down there. Did I? It's a bad thing about crawling up and down these things. Yeah, you get exercise. But anyway, when you have a metering arm wore out, typically you get a long bale, not a short bale. But we're gonna try it, see what happens. Sorry about the wind. The wind has been absolutely terrible. Just gonna mark this so I know where to put it. All right, so yeah, this thing, oh no, it's not gonna trip. It's got the safety latch up. It shouldn't anyway. That case is pretty cool. They actually have marks, measure marks here for you. Kind of handy. You know, I don't know. It's got one little spot in it, but to me it doesn't look bad, but we'll try it. All right, now we gotta change the gear. And the gear's pretty banged up. Yeah, there's Andrea. Going back to the shop. See you in the morning. Okay, put that back on. Put that on. right, we had to fight it a little bit, but got it on there. I just had to loosen that bolt up, kind of put everything together loose basically, and then tighten it up. But I noticed there's supposed to be a bolt right here and a bushing take up this space. I don't think I have a bushing, but I probably have some washers or something else I can put in there, but I don't know what that would, I guess it might allow for some flex and some movement. But like I said, we're just gonna try this and see how it does tonight. So all right, well, it's late in the afternoon, it's hot, it's windy. I'll see you in the morning. All right, I'm gonna check a few bales out where the guys baled last night. So this is the alfalfa field that was in the last video where I think I checked the hay in the morning. The rakes raked it up, so just want to come out here and see what it looks like. Looks like pretty nice stuff. Good leaf, fine stem. Oh yeah, 11 and a half, 11, 12, 11, 10%. And I think this is the side of the field where they ended on, so that's good. I think they got done at like, what he called me at like 4:30 or something. They did have a little bit of baler trouble, so we gotta go check that out and see if we can fix it. So I'm gonna check a few more bales, and then I gotta go just around the corner over there and help the guy on the Swather get going. He's gonna cut a field's on drip, so we're gonna run a GPS, and I gotta help him get set up. So we'll do that, and then we'll go check the baler out and see what's up with it. All right, well, helping him get going on the Swather, he's running now. It's a little more involved than normal, just because, I don't know, satellite fell out of the sky, somebody shot one down, or they abandoned one, I don't know. But the GPS the signal wouldn't pick up. Called one of the salesmen at the dealer just to get some help, and he's like, oh yeah, there's an update for that, I'll send you the file. So sent me the walkthrough, which wasn't bad once we figured it out, but it was like they gave you the instructions, but it was kind of for like a different monitor, but it was kind of the same as the one we had. But after a couple tries, we figured it out. I don't know, our lines got a little squiggly. Until I figured out I had the wrong heading in there. So I don't know if you can see the furrow marks are going that way and our rows going that way. We got a little bit off, but then we straightened it out right there. So it looks good. Nice crop of hay too. Header's doing a good job. I was going to show you guys something. I don't know if anyone's seen it. So to the north of this field is a cotton field. Now the cotton's at the point where it's setting squares, or basically the square is going to turn into the flower is going to turn into the cotton boll. Well, in alfalfa, there's a bug called lygus. Lygus really like to go into the cotton, and they have a little stinger, and they'll sting the square, and the square will fall off. So to try to keep the lygus in the hayfield, we'll leave strips like this. So this strip goes maybe about halfway down the row, and then he's going to leave strips, every so often. So in this field, there's valves like that. I don't know, maybe every 20 passes. So at every valve, he's going to leave a strip. Do they work? I don't know. They make everyone feel better. So the thought is you leave a strip of hay there for the lygus to feed on, and hopefully they stay here and they don't go over there. I don't know if it works, but it's something that the growers ask us to do, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, he's running it. He's up and running now. He's driving nice and straight. Everything looks pretty good. Be interesting to see how fast this hay cures, because it's gonna be, I think, in the 90s today, but in a couple days it's gonna be like 105, 108, so I bet it'll cure pretty fast. But all right, well, we're gonna head over to the baler and see if we can figure out what's going on with it from last night. So let's get over there. Yep, that looks like a problem. Yeah, not a big deal. We can take it to the shop, weld it up. Okay, let's take it off. Actually, I think I have a 15/16 gear wrench. Oh yeah, there we go. Leave this here so we don't lose it. All right, let's take that off. Well, I think what we can do, maybe that out a little bit. And I'm just gonna shove it back on there, weld it, put a little plate over it. Just lay it on this side, weld it, and then drill through the other side for the holes, and that should be good. I hope the shear's big enough to cut this. That looks good. Like butter. Yep, that'll work. It doesn't look factory, but it'll work. Should be better than before with that plate on there. Alright, well, I need to go fill my ballot out and put it in the mail. We're having an election here in the state. I'm going to do that. We'll put this on and then drop my ballot off at the post office. So, see you at the baler. Now check this out. This guy in this truck's got a big receiver on top. And And that right there is an autonomous sprayer, orchard sprayer, following them. GUSS sprayer, global unmanned something or other. But yeah, that's what things are coming to. Robots. So that truck, if I understand correctly, yeah, he's got the receiver on top, and the sprayer's following him. So check this out. I mean, that thing, I'm gonna try to stick it out the window. The thing's going around a canal, going around a turn all by itself, following that guy to the next field. So yeah, I don't know if you heard me out the window, but that sprayer's just following that guy around, following probably to the next field they got to spray. But yeah, so it's called the GUSS. It stands for Global Unmanned Spraying System. That's what it stands for. So you're starting to see more and more of those around, just because, you know, the availability of labor is less and less all the time. And you can talk to anybody in agriculture. Actually, nowadays, anybody in every industry, it's just hard to find help. I'm grateful for the guys I do have. You know, the hay season, it's not a real big problem finding help, because I have a lot of, you know, returning guys who are always with me in the hay. But when it comes to almond harvest, you know, and we need, you know, however many more people, that's when it becomes a struggle to find the help. But somehow, some way, we always make it work. But that right there, what you guys just saw, that autonomous sprayer, that's stuff that's around the corner. It's coming, and it's here actually. So anyway, I just thought that was kind of cool. I'm taking the part out to the baler to put it on, so just thought I'd fire the camera up and show you guys. So all right, well, let's see if we can get this baler fixed. Oh man, me and the guy on the Swather, we just had a workout. So he had mud build up on the rollers. See all that crap right there is on the outsides. There's a lot of gopher mounds in this field, and then there's a mark right here where they ran a shank the last cutting, and I think they put gopher bait in the ground, or poison or something, to try to get them. But I think it's every other row they did that. Yeah, so they did this one, skipped one, did another one. Well, the Swather header is catching the chunks or the slabs once in a while. He's been playing with the float, trying to get it to float a little better, but it got so bad where the conditioners were shaking. They got built up with mud, so we just had to stop and clean it out. The other thing too, you know, there's a high spot right here in the middle, which is not a big deal. We just play with the tilt and the float, and it kind of, you know, we get it to work as good as it's gonna get. So yeah, but I haven't done that in a while. We were using the just pry bars, you know, just banging it out of there, and I got smart. I like power tools. I got my air hammer out, and it just went like that, so that was pretty quick. So well, all right, I'm gonna end this one right here, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.